We're back on the advanced server to test out the latest patch on Argus, where the developers removed some of the nerfs they applied. If you want me to keep uploading videos like this, please help the channel by hitting like, sharing this video, and subscribing to the channel. Anyway, let's talk about the patch notes. They removed some of the nerfs from his passive by returning the physical defense penetration on Warmonger and also returning the auto recharge of his Malice energy, which to me is a huge win. They removed the buff on the Malice energy gain per non-critical basic attack though, but that's okay in my opinion. Sadly, they greatly nerfed the bonus movement speed gained temporarily from his second skill. This, I think, is pretty awful, but it's quite too early to say considering that he did get a bunch of buffs, which made him more efficient in dealing damage. They also nerfed the damage inflicted by his ultimate upon activation, which is another thing that I think is not a deal breaker. As you can see, while Argus still feels like a late gamer and is pretty weak on the early game, it's not as bad as before. In fact, I think this is a bit better than the original server Argus capabilities during the laning phase, since not only can Argus gain Malice energy per second, he can now gain a full bar of Malice energy from his second skill whenever it hits a hero, and also stack 2 bars of Warmonger, which greatly improved his damage output. See that damage? For a late game hero, that was pretty remarkable. I really hope they keep this mechanics. I will play some more games and test this further, but so far, I think, and again I think, this should be the final version of Argus. Another reason why I think this is the final version is because it still has a lot of openings. Don't think Argus is OP just based on this gameplay. You have to remember, a lot of these players are practicing, testing heroes, or are inexperienced. One of the openings is his ultimate. Despite the 50% reduction mechanics they added, his ultimate still has a much longer cooldown than the Argus on the original server. Another thing that makes this balanced is the removal of the slow immunity from his ultimate and also the reduction of his bonus movement speed gained from his second skill. To the inexperienced player, this doesn't sound like a big deal, but on higher ranks, this is a significant change that can make it harder and at times even impossible for Argus to keep his targets within his range once he gets slowed down by their skills. This makes it more important for Argus players to have better charge-in timing and also be more aware of the skills their targets have already used and have not used. In other words, players need to be more cautious when it comes to choosing their targets and when to attack. Not gonna lie, I kinda felt cocky in that clash. I intentionally wanted a challenging clash to push Argus to his limits and maybe show some outplays, but it was me who got outplayed. You have to remember that at the end of the day, he's still a late game hero and is pretty fragile without his ultimate. Do I see that as a bad thing though? Nah, of course not. You can't have a hero with tremendous damage output, limited immortality, then also give him high armor. That's a broken hero, and a broken hero is always banned. Or in other words, imbalanced. Not sure how many times I have told you guys, unless it conflicts with your playstyle, I strongly recommend having Fleeting Time as either a second or third item. Fleeting Time will nullify the effects or the nerfs on his ultimate's cooldown time, and also has potential to turn Argus godly during the late game, thanks to the ridiculous cooldown reduction of this item whenever you get kills and assists. Since the enemies were clustered on the bottom lane, I took the chance to push the top lane. After all, Argus Ultimate was available, so if someone dares to defend, we can either survive or even take the defender down. Lucas thought vengeance and his avatar could save him. No. Saw the stacking Warmonger in action? Very satisfying. And of course, look at his ultimate's cooldown time.
If it wasn't me, I'm afraid it would be
If they keep Argus in this state, he might just become a meta hero. Maybe I'm overestimating this version, but I don't know. His damage output and survivability just feels top tier. Another item I think greatly benefits this version is Dragonlance. I believe critical chance is a very important stat for this version, not to mention that Dragonlance boosts the user's movement speed temporarily when their ultimate is activated, and of course, that very useful cooldown reduction.
If it wasn't me, I'm afraid it would be. There goes my mercy. For the lost souls.
That concludes our Mobile Legends content for today. What do you think of these adjustments? Leave your thoughts in the comment section below, and if you haven't yet, don't forget to hit like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Stay safe, everyone. Peace.